can't do this anymore. Left my past all on the floor. I've been trying to keep it moving, now we going north, going up 2, 3, up 2, 3. Got this joy inside of me because I can't do this anymore. Left my past all on the floor. I've been trying to keep it moving, now we going north, going up 2, 3, up 2, 3. Got this joy inside of me because I got the key. We've been really moving places, always on the low. I was shining in the tunnel because I got the glow.
Hey. Sorry I'm late, y'all. Gotta get ready, get it in the mood. Get ready to get your money right. Hey, let's go. Get ready. Sorry I'm late. Let's go.
I'm ready.
All right, y'all. So thank y'all for your patience. Thanks for waiting for me. So this is TLee, the RealRam. Today, what I want to talk about is financial planning. So I got with me today Eloise Square. As I revealed to y'all on Facebook, she happens to be my cousin. So we found this out through some ancestry, and that's about all I'm going to reveal. So Eloise, you go ahead and introduce yourself and let everyone know your qualifications to talk to us today about financial planning.
Hello out there. I'm Eloise Square. I'm in Dallas, Fort Worth Metroplex, and I'm a licensed financial professional. I'm licensed. I have my state of Texas and state of Tennessee life insurance licenses, and able to talk to people around the country. And I'm also licensed in investments and able to talk to people around the country about investing. So I just wanted to get you all ready for 2021 in what you need to do to build your financial foundation for your family. So I'm glad that Tawana has me on the show today.
All right. So you see if that share screen button will work for you.
Okay.
We're going to go ahead and get this rolling.
All righty. Share screen. Okay. Okay, this is the screen I have up. Okay, so can you see that? Taking care of business
down here.
2021.
I can see it down here at the bottom. Maybe we click this one. Okay.
So can you see taking care of business planning for 2021?
Yes, ma'am. I see it. I just don't know how it looks to the viewers.
Okay. So we need to get ready. It's December 28th, and we want to get ready and think about those things that you could put in place for next year, for 2021, to build your foundation for your family's future, to build wealth for your family, to leave a legacy for your family. So these are 5 topics we want to cover today. The first one is protecting your income. That's the foundation. And how can you protect your income? By having life insurance. Because if you don't have any money, life insurance will get you some money if one of the breadwinners or both of the breadwinners pass away. Then life insurance can provide money for the family. Life insurance protects your income. So that would be the first thing that you will want to do, is to review what life insurance policies you have in place, and not just only what you have on the job, because that is with the job. And if you leave the job, get fired, get laid off, especially during this COVID season, get laid off, or you lose your job, or they reduce the workforce, or they decide at the company that they no longer want to provide life insurance, then you should have in place your own personal life insurance plan. and we can walk you through that, show you how much is needed. Generally, 6 to 10 times your income should be the face amount of any life insurance policy that you have in place. Now, Tawana, did you have any questions about that?
And protecting your income, no ma'am.
And I'm sure you agree that that's important
Yes,
at this
ma'am.
time.
Yes, ma'am.
And then the next step would be eliminating debt so that you can start investing. So you need to look at stacking your debt, paying off maybe the ones with the highest interest first, and then as you pay that one off, add that payment on to the payment for paying off the rest of your debt. So just continually using that money, whatever you have set aside in total for paying off your debt, continue to use that money to pay off the next debt, and so on until you're zero. You have a zero balance on everything, and then you can start building your emergency fund, an emergency fund for if the car breaks down, or if the hot water heater breaks, any emergency that you can have in your home. A special bill comes up with your school, with your kids at school or something. So you want to have an emergency fund, or if you get laid off, so you want to have 3 to 6 months of income set aside in case you get laid off from your job. So that that will give you time to you'd have that money to pay bills, pay the rent, pay the mortgage, pay any of your debt while you're looking for another job. So emergency fund is very important for your financial foundation. And then once you have that in place, you want to move into investing for the future. And that would be in short term investing. If you want to save up to buy a new car, save for a vacation, save for a child's wedding, uh, or save to buy a new home for a down payment on a new home. And then also long-term investing, saving for retirement, especially if you're under 50, you would not want to rely on Social Security being in place. So you would need to, if you have 401k on your job, you want to make sure you're putting in enough to get that match that your employer is giving. And then you may want to have a Roth IRA outside of your job, where you can save up to 6,000, invest up to 6,000 a year in a Roth IRA. And the husband can have one, the wife can have one, and each of you can invest up to 6,000 a year in a Roth IRA. And so that would be your long-term investing.
And for those that don't know what an IRA is,
and for those that don't know what an IRA is, it's an individual retirement account. A Roth IRA is investment set up with after-tax money. So that's your net income, the net paycheck that you have, you using that for your budget and everything else. So you would use that income for contributing to a Roth IRA. And at the time that you start withdrawing from it at retirement at 59 and a half or older, you can withdraw all of the contributions and all of the growth, the interest that it has accumulated. You can withdraw it with no tax consequences. So that's what a Roth IRA is. Everyone, most people should have a Roth IRA. Some people may be above the income tax bracket for one, but most people can invest in a Roth IRA.
And then we talked about penalties, right? Penalties and what that means, and your money has been taken away. So if you can explain to people exactly what does that mean? Should they deal with the penalty, and how does that work? If you withdrew the $2,000, what does that mean for the $2,000 that's gone?
So now, if you have options that you can withdraw from a Roth IRA without penalty, prior to age 59 and a half. So if you want to make a down payment on a home, or if you want to use some of it for paying for your child's higher education, or if there's some medical expense that you can withdraw from it with no penalty prior to age 59 and a half. But if you withdraw for any other reasons prior to age 59 and a half, you would have to pay the 10% penalty plus the taxes on that amount that you have withdrawn. Even if you put it back, you still have to pay that penalty.
Because this differs from stocks and bonds, and it differs how?
Well, it differs if it's a retirement account, and that's the difference. If you got the opportunity, the government gives you the opportunity to invest in the account with no tax consequences. And so it's a retirement account, and it's meant for the time that you retire at 59 and a half. And so it's different than from a non-retirement account when you can withdraw from it anytime you want to. But the government is giving you special tax consequences with a retirement account. Therefore, they have restrictions on when you can withdraw from it. But a non-retirement account, you can withdraw anytime you want.
Yeah.
So that's the difference.
Yeah. So when we were talking about the fact that like stocks and bonds, it's like you're investing in companies, so the money comes and goes, but your IRA is like your bank account. So if you don't put money in it, it's not just going to replace itself. It's not like magic. So if you pull out that money, it's not going to magically be replaced by someone else.
Oh, no, absolutely not. You're going to get more growth if you leave some money in there, but it's going to continue to grow. But yeah, if you pull it out, it's out.
Right.
And you'll suffer the consequences, the tax consequences of making a withdrawal. So now we set up Roth IRAs using mutual funds, and a mutual fund can have stocks in it. It can have bonds in it. Okay, so you can be investing in stocks and bonds, but it's the fact that it's a retirement account that makes the tax consequences and the penalties effective. That's what generates those penalties and tax consequences, because it is a retirement account, just like your 401k is a retirement account. Or a pension that you may have is a retirement account. And so making withdrawals brings tax consequences with it.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And then the last item on our list here is the importance of having a will. Now, I'm in the state of Texas. So in Texas, if you don't have a will, then the state decides who gets your children. Let's say if you have children, the state will make a decision. You may have told Aunt Jenny Mae or Aunt Lucy that you wanted them to take your children if something happened to you. But if it's not in a will, the state will make that decision, and they may determine that Aunt Jenny Mae is not suitable for raising children. And the other thing about having your life insurance in place, if you do pass away, you want to have life insurance and money so that the person who does take the responsibility for your children will have some funds to help them to take care of them, help them to raise them, help them to provide for them like you would have done if you had been there. Otherwise, you may be placing a burden on your loved ones to care for your children with no additional funding to help them. So that's another reason that life insurance is so important. But having a will, and depending on what state you live in, having a will is very important so that your loved ones who are left behind and the state know what your intentions were for your assets and for your children that you leave behind.
And we talked about life insurance. So for the people out there who want to know how to term life insurance, we talked about what that is versus if you have mortgage protection plans on your home. So if you can explain that to people.
Okay, so mortgage protection insurance is really a decreasing term insurance because your mortgage is continually going down while you because you're making those monthly mortgage payments. So the amount of your mortgage, the balance is going down every month. And so, but you may have a mortgage protection plan that is still whatever it was set up for, the original value of your mortgage. And so but you're continually making that mortgage payment, and you're continuing to pay that premium on the mortgage protection insurance. And so it's really decreasing. uh, you're paying the same amount, but the value, the amount that you owe on the home is going down. And then if something were to happen to you, the money from the mortgage protection plan goes to the mortgage company so that they can pay off your mortgage. If you have instead a term life insurance policy, which is a fixed amount, face amount remains the same for the life of your mortgage, let's say, not only can you pay off your mortgage, if you have enough, then you can leave money to your family. So you use the term life insurance outside of your mortgage. Don't connect your insurance with your mortgage. Don't connect it with saving. Separate those because you don't have a savings plan with your auto insurance. So why have a savings plan with any other kind of insurance? So it's best to have a straight term life insurance policy, which will cover your mortgage, which will pay off your debt, which will leave money for your family, and you could do that all in one.
Yeah. What else did I write down? Annual policy fees.
Right. So annual policy fees. So many times persons will have multiple insurance policies, one on each member of the family. Everybody has their own policy. But what many people don't realize, each policy has a policy fee, an annual policy fee with it. So let's say if the policy fee is $50 and there's 5 persons in the household, so now you're paying $250 a year for policy fees.
Mhm.
Whereas what we educate people to do is have one policy which covers all 5 members of the household, and you pay one $50 policy fee. So that's a savings in that example of $200. So that's what we should lean more to saving money, because then with that $200, you can go to your investments, it can go to paying off debt, but that's just another way to save money in your financial product.
And we talked about the wills, right? Wills, funerals. Let's talk about the person that you should hire. The person, the executor.
The executor.
The
So
executor.
the executor may not be a hire. It may just be you name someone in your will, one of your family members. It may be a child. It may be one of your adult children. It could be a sibling that you want to name as the executor of the will. Now, I won't get too much into that because I'm not a lawyer.
Right.
So we'd have to leave that to the legal profession to answer those questions. What we do is offer a product called prepaid legal. And prepaid legal, you pay a monthly fee, and you have access to attorneys who will, first of all, help you to set up that will, and so they would help you with all the details of what your will should say. And also the health directive, that's another thing everyone should have, and a medical directive. And you can name all the persons that in your will, and the persons who you want to be responsible for you in case of medical uh, incident, or if you can't make medical decisions for yourself, or if you're life threatening, if you were to uh, go unconscious, or you lose breath, or if the decisions you make, whether to take you off or put you on a ventilator or something. So you make all those decisions uh, through this medical directive. And so we offer this service called prepaid legal, where you would have access to attorneys to help you set up those documents. And they would be able to answer some of those legal questions you have, like the executor and so forth, persons to name in your will.
Yeah. So when we was tying all this together, the life insurance, um, eliminating the debt, will, and all of that. So, sharing for the viewers, unfortunately, I unexpectedly lost my dad in 2012.
Mm-hmm.
He had life insurance. He let me know that he had life insurance and all of that. He sent me a copy of, I don't think it was his policy. Maybe it was a copy of his policy. But I knew that he had it. I knew the company and all of that right there. And so people who were immediate in the state where he was, they immediately went and took care of the immediate business, handling the funeral director and all of that right there. And so my sister and I both are in two separate states, and separate states from where he was. Things takes a little bit of time, right? And after everything was over, we find his folder with the checklist that he completed with his insurance company. And I believe this would have been would have turned into the letter of instructions, because it laid out everything that he wanted. And so with ensuring that, the family didn't go into debt, my sister and I, along with, our great aunt, we had, decisions to make of how to carry on with the burial of the body. And, the funeral itself, that stuff costs money. And since my father served in the Navy, I knew that there was also an option of him getting buried in the military cemetery, which happened to be away from the family. And so I said, okay, how much does that cost? Oh, it's free. So that's what we did. We made that decision to give him the free burial plot versus paying some more money just so that he could be buried with family. And sometimes, like, those are the difficult decisions and situations that we have to deal with. Do you go with your emotions of the moment, or do you deal with, like, what matters in the end? Because what matters in the end, I think, is just ensure that that person is in the ground and that your family isn't put in debt. So, like I said, when everything was over with, I found the instructions where my dad had laid out even like what he wanted to wear, what songs he wanted, even that he said, if it came down to money, he said what he wanted. I couldn't remember if he said he wanted to be cremated or not, but he definitely said he did not want the family going into debt. So I was kind of happy that, me and my sister, it was an easy decision to say, go put him in the military cemetery. That's as opposed to everyone being tied into emotions and saying, we want him to be buried with the family right there. So I do think that health directives, letters of intent, or letters of instruction, wills, all of that, but also learning to trust certain family members and individuals, those who are closest to the person, to help making these decisions for the family. I think
Right.
that's kind of important as well.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. And then having that letter of instructions would have taken the emotions out of it. So, because he would have already made the decision what he want, and you don't have to um, be concerned with your feelings about it. You're doing what he wanted.
Yeah, yeah,
I know that some funeral homes do provide forms for letter instructions to help you uh, fill out ahead of time. I know I did that. I provided those forms to my siblings so that they could fill all that out, and then we would have that so we would know what they wanted us to do.
yeah, yeah. Because the stuff with all the famous people, Michael
Oh,
Jackson, Prince, all
right.
not having their financial situations and wills in order. You know.
Right. Yeah, like Aretha Franklin didn't have a will, neither did Prince, neither did Michael Jackson, neither did James Brown. See, James Brown wasn't buried for many months. So it's, just think that to be, and that's how sometimes we think, oh, that person, he has a lot of money, he has it all together, or she has it all together just because they have money. Well,
Right.
they're knowledgeable in the music industry or the entertainment industry, but they may not be knowledgeable about finances or about wills or legal issues. And that's where you hope people would connect with a professional to help them make those decisions. Now, they may have had lawyers and financial advisors, and of course, they may not have been listening to them, you know.
Yeah.
But it's too bad that they leave their family in turmoil like that. That they're probably all still arguing amongst themselves about what to do.
Yeah. Do you have any like number one or number top two questions that have been going on since COVID?
Since COVID, the main
Or-
thing about COVID is if you haven't contracted it or haven't been near someone or haven't tested positive for it, and you do not have personal life insurance, you need to get it right away because once you do get it, then some the companies are making you wait 90 days, or uh, some of them may have a longer period of time before they will allow you to apply for life insurance because you had you've had the COVID, or you've come in contact with the COVID. So it's raising issues because the companies, it's a new risk that they're having to take. We've been dealing with cancers and heart disease and all of those things for many years. So they basically know how to quote for those, what the cost is that they have to assume or the risk they have to assume. But COVID is a new thing. And so no one knows who will die except God from COVID. So it's a new risk the insurance companies are having to take. And so if you don't have personal insurance, then you need to look at getting it right away. And you may not, if you can't afford a $200,000 policy, the biggest policies, maybe you get a $25,000 policy just so that your family doesn't have to do a GoFundMe account to bury you. You know, take responsibility now. I was looking at a text message on our next door neighbor. We have this next door neighbor app. I don't know if you have it in Washington D.C., where all the people who live in a community can communicate with one another. And someone posted that. their brother had passed away. He was young and he had two children. He was a good father, and they
Mhm.
were doing a GoFundMe. And I'm like, if he was a good father, he should have had life insurance in place. He should have been concerned about how am I protecting my income so that my children will be taken care of. And so, this is what we need to do in our community. Stop leaving the responsibility to someone else in a GoFundMe account. Take responsibility now and get that life insurance policy. And especially if you're young, if you're younger than 40, the rates are very low for young people because you probably don't have high blood pressure or heart disease or cancer or any of those things that can plague you when you get older. So take advantage now where the rates are low and you can keep them at that rate, a fixed rate, for 20, 30, 35 years.
Yeah, I think we got to be careful though with that statement, those statements of like if he was a good father, then he would have had life insurance because I think just not having life insurance doesn't mean that you're not a good parent.
No, it doesn't
You
mean
gotta
it's not
you gotta
a
be
good
careful
thing.
with that.
But yeah,
I still gotta do that thing.
yeah.
Um, but it was
Maybe
something.
I went a little too far saying that, a responsible person would make sure, you know. Don't
Um,
leave the responsibility to me because I
huh?
don't know you. Don't leave the responsibility to me because I don't know you. And now you're
Yeah,
asking me to fund your GoFundMe.
yeah,
That's
yeah.
that's
I
really
can understand that one.
right.
Tell us how much would a 25, you said 25,000, right?
Right.
How much is that a month?
Well, it just depends. So I'll have to depend on your age, whether you're a smoker or a non-smoker, your height, your
Mm,
weight, so
okay,
so
let's say
it's an individual. I
true,
don't want
true. So let's just throw something out there. Let's just say it's a 55-year-old black woman who is a smoker and a drinker
mhm.
and
Yeah, see,
working since
I'm
working
not
since
the underwriter.
30 or so. No,
Yeah.
working since 18. Working since 18 and got four kids.
hmm Okay, so I'm not the underwriter. So the underwriter, if you get into I don't think there's any questions on it about alcohol, but there are questions about your health and whether you smoke or not. And so it will be up to the underwriters to who look at your medical records to make those decisions. But if you were to say, what age did you say?
I don't know, forgot. I think I said 55.
Oh, 55. So that means somebody who was born in 1965. So you have a person that born in 1965 and they're not a smoker, um, and they wanted to get $25,000 worth. You said
Mm-hmm.
not a smoker, age 55. Oops, that didn't. What happened there? 55, not a smoker. So 25,000 is $41
Okay. It's not too
for
bad.
right,
Not too bad. Not too bad.
right,
All
right.
right. Not too bad. So
Do we have
I
anybody to check in?
do we have any what?
Anyone on the chat? Or
We didn't have any questions. I was gonna throw it out there. Okay, now we do. We got one now. Is there such thing to live out? Ooh, that's a good one. To live out life insurance, and is there a time limit on life insurance?
okay, so with term life insurance, there are periods. So we offer 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35 year terms. Okay. And so what we believe in is that you buy insurance and you also start investing so that the end of the term, let's say if you had a 25-year product policy, at the end of the 25 years you've been investing, then you would have saved money so that you could become self-insured. We don't believe you should have life insurance all of your life. If you have saved, let's say you saved and you've got a $500,000, or even if you have $100,000, in that 25 years you saved that amount of money. You've invested that amount of money and your account has grown. So you wouldn't need a life insurance policy because you're self-insured. You could pay for your burial out of $200,000 or out of $500,000, and then you would still have some money to leave to your family. So why continue to pay some premium every month when you have the money in an investment account to cover your what you want to leave for your family?
Did that also answer? Is there a time limit?
Right. The terms, there are different terms, 10-year, 15, 25, 30. And usually you get a longer term if you're younger. And if you're older, you would get a shorter term.
Okay.
And so we hope you don't outlive your insurance because we want you to be investing while you're, doing that term that's for your policy. Okay.
Was a 401k or a 401b? I don't think I ever heard of 401b.
401b. Haven't heard of the 401b. There's the 403b.
Forgot.
Okay, the 401k is the retirement account that corporations normally allow individuals to participate in. And the 403b is normally the school system have those.
So
403b.
it's 403b.
Yeah, 403b. The school system, some churches, higher ed can allow for 403b, and nonprofits, some of those can have 403b. So the 401k is a group, everybody's investing in it's a group setup. 403b is more of an individual. It's almost like a Roth IRA, except that it is a before tax contributions. So they take that out before they apply IRS taxes or Social Security taxes to your account, before they apply IRS taxes to your gross pay. So if you're making $1,000 of money, you want to contribute $50 to your 403b, then your employer, it's a payroll deduction when you have a 403b. Your employer would deduct that $50 and contribute it to your 403b, and then they will apply the taxes to your remaining amount.
Who's going to apply the taxes?
The
employer or the IRS?
So the employee. So a 403b is through your payroll. So it's something your employer has to offer, the ability to have 403b. And it's an individual decision, an individual account. And so the employer takes the $50 out of your, or let's say, I'm just giving an example of $50. If you're contributing $50 to your 403b, the employer would take the $50 out and send it to the investment company. Okay, and then they would calculate the taxes on your remaining paycheck, your remaining pay. And let's say if it was you made $1,000 a month, you were taking $50 out for the 403B. That leaves $950. So then they're gonna apply your IRS taxes to your payroll taxes, which is your IRS taxes, to that 950 remaining amount. So it's a before tax contribution, the 403B. And there are limits on how much you can put in the 403B a year. I think it's like $19,000 a year that you can contribute to your 403B.
I just thought about it when I was in the Air Force and I was paying towards my SGLI. And before I got out, and when I got out, I didn't transfer it over to my veterans insurance. And so my money was just gone. All that money that I paid is just it's just gone. It's like where is my money? Where did it go? So on the civilian side, I think that goes back to Shantae's question of outliving the insurance. If you were paying so much money into life insurance, and let's just say like you switched companies, for instance, what would happen to all that money that you paid?
Okay, so in the Army, I don't know, it's a term insurance. It's just it's gone. It's just like with your auto insurance. You've been paying auto insurance every year, and you didn't have an accident, and it was just ensuring that if you did have an accident, you would be covered. And you don't get it back if you switch from Geico to Allstate to Nationwide to Progressive. You don't get any of that money. So it's the same thing with your life insurance. You don't get the money. It was
Just
for
gone.
that time, right? It's not lost because it did insure you for that time period. It's the cost of living. It's just it's just something we got to do. Just like if you have a refrigerator and you paying on it and you paid for it and you had it 20 years and now it's gone out, you can't get any money back because you used that refrigerator while you had it.
I guess so.
I know we hate this, but it's the same for auto insurance. It's the same for homeowners insurance. You don't get it back. It was to cover us during that time, and thank goodness we didn't have an accident or the house didn't burn down.
Yeah.
That's it.
It's the in case. It's the in
Right.
case. Man.
Right.
Which ties in perfectly to today's principle. Today's Kwanzaa principle of Ushima, collective work and responsibility, reminded us the obligation of the past, present, and future that we have a role to play in the community, society, and the world. So we pay all this life insurance, and we don't use it, and somebody else does. I don't know, man.
Because I'm sure figuring into those rates, the insurance company know how many people they have, those mortality tables, which tells them how many people are going to die, how many are going to live, and so they use all that money. That money covered somebody, who did die or did have a car accident or house did burn up or whatever. Now the other thing, when you left, so you're out of the service, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So you did have an investment account, TSP or something with them?
Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah, I did. Yeah.
And did you leave that with them?
I probably did. I didn't do a lot of the things that I should have done, even though I sat in the briefing. I wrote on everything they told me to do. Right. The only thing I actually did was go file for my disability.
Right.
The only thing I did, and enroll for my education. That's
right.
what I did. The
But you
insurance,
still,
insurance, insurance.
your TSP should still be there.
Yeah, that was a long time ago. I got out in 2010.
Well, you should check with them. That money should still be there, and it's still growing. That's
Mhm.
still your money. They couldn't, so you should be checking with them about that, because now you can take that and roll it into an IRA. You can roll it out where you have responsibility for it, where you can manage it, where you can see it. So you should be contacting them about that.
Well, I
Um,
will fix it.
okay.
I will.
Yeah, you should be contacting them about it.
Since we just touched on that, if there's any veterans out here watching.
Right.
So the reason why I didn't do it, other than just being lazy, was because I felt like, okay, my husband's still active. I'm gonna have all his benefits. I'm still gonna have benefits with the VA. So yeah, I don't need to worry about all this stuff. So if you
Mm-hmm.
could speak to, the importance of your own life insurance and the money that you paid into whatever. I'm writing that
Okay.
down.
So, if you've left a corporate job and you had a 401k with your job, you should be rolling it out of that job into an IRA, or because you're leaving it with the company, they're going to make all the decisions about it. You want to have personal responsibility for it so you can make decisions. You can see to the growth of it. You can determine, with your professional advisor who's helping you, what you want to invest in. But if you leave it with the employer, then they're making decisions about it. And so that's the same thing with your TSP. You left it with the Army, with Navy, Air Force,
Air
the
Force.
military, Air Force, and they're making, the decisions. So you want to pull it out of there and make your own decisions with it.
Okay,
And,
so
and
is it showing?
okay, Shantae has another question. It went by fast.
Yeah, my stuff started lagging.
Okay, so after having life insurance and hopefully, prayerfully living a very long and fruitful life, at the end of your life, will that life insurance money then be distributed to your children? Yes. If so if you have a 25-year term policy and you die within that 25 years, your children or your beneficiaries that you named in that policy will receive that money. Okay, if you die within that 25 years. Now, if you die and that policy has lapsed, the 25 years is up, and you die 30 years from now, and the 25 years is up, then that policy has ended. And that's why we have the invest while you're doing that. When you get the policy, you start an investment, and you continually invest for 25 years, so that when the policy is up in the 25 years, you have an investment account that will be left to your children. So if you have a
Good.
$200,000 face amount policy, uh, trying to get you to invest so that at the end of the term you have at least the 200,000, or if you put in as much as you can, whatever amount, so that you can leave that money to your family if the 25-year policy has ended. So term is for a specific period of time, and during that specific period of time, please invest your money so that at the end of the specific period of time, the 25 years, you have an investment account so that you can leave that money to your family if the 25-year term policy is up.
questions.
Yes, that's a great question.
We're gonna give y'all a little bit more time to ask more questions. Do you have another question that has come up a lot that isn't too specific, but just a general question that has come up a lot, this year?
Well,
Maybe with the uncertainty with, Trump and all this back and forth that's happening this year.
I didn't get that. There's a lot of static.
And I'm completely back. Is it? I probably got too many kids on Wi-Fi. With all the stuff that has happened this year, all the uncertainty, has there been another top issue amongst customers?
The stock market has really been doing well, even though we've had this pandemic. So, when it first happened, yeah, the market dropped like 30%, but it's back up now. It's higher than it's ever been. And so a lot of people were questioning whether they should get out when in March when the market went down. No, that's the time to be putting in more money, because if the shares are down, if the price of the shares is down, now you can buy more shares. And then now the market is up, and so your shares are more valuable. So the market goes down, but it always comes back up. It's like that saying, what goes down must come up. And it does. Through all kinds of uh, devastations in the world, through all many years, the market, like the market with issues we had in 2008 when President Obama first got into office, we were in a bad financial crisis. But through all the work that he did during his 8 years in there, the market was good once Trump got in office. The market was good because of the work that Obama had done for 8 years. And so, it has remained good since Trump has been in there. And it just took that dive during this pandemic, with so many people being out of work and everything being shut down. But economic recovery is on the horizon, So we're seeing 12 and 20% growth in accounts during this time. So don't get out when the market is down. That's the time to put in more money. So that's one of the things. And people ask about, should I save in the bank or should I invest in the market? The bank, what is the interest rate the bank is giving? I can't find them on the internet. They're not putting up big signs of what interest rate they're giving, because it's like less than 1%. And so the place to be is investing. How can you check on your shares? Depending on who your provider is, you should have an online account to go to. And Shantae, I happen to know you, so I'll get with you and show you how to get to your account and see what the growth is on it. But whomever you're investing through should be providing you online access to your account, or maybe they're mailing you quarterly statements or annual statements so that you can see the growth of your account. Okay. If you're talking to one, I can't hear you. I see your mouth moving.
I have no more questions or stories to share.
Okay, well, great. And I've enjoyed this session. I want to know about
I said I have no other stories or questions. Do you have any last minute things?
So I have on the screen there, if anyone wants to learn more, they can contact me directly. They can text me at that
Yeah,
number, and
I'm gonna look into that.
we can set up a one-on-one session. And for you, if you need some help with rolling over your TSP, let me know so that we can work together on that to get that done. But I've enjoyed it, and thank you for having me on. I wanted to know about that song you were playing, Back to September, or
Yes, ma'am, for sure.
oh yeah, music was out about taking back September. My son and his crew.
Yes, ma'am. That
Is
song,
your son?
yes, yeah, my stuff is
Your
so
son?
choppy. That song was written by, yeah, that's written by my son David and his crew, Taking Back September.
Oh, really?
Yep, he got an international group. My son, my oldest, David, and his crew, he got his international friends. They got a crew. Hopefully, they'll be on the show before they all return back to school next year.
Oh, okay,
Yeah,
great.
that's the hope.
Okay.
That's the hope.
All
So,
right.
as y'all know, that's my intro and my outro. Y'all were here for a purpose. Take care of yourself.
Yes. Take care of yourself and your financial well-being.
Eloise Square.
Do I click on leave the show, or what do I do?
What? My stuff is so.
Okay, so what do you do now?